Yeah. So in last session we have discussed about or the libraries, right? So we have seen how we can create a library, the business parameter, and yeah, uh, I would say basically we would be kind of not duplicating the steps whenever we see a scenario or a steps wherein set of steps are kind of repeating in our test cases. Then it's what we just create uh, what I would say is library for that particular thing, and in that case we would be like able to uh, avoid duplicating the steps and create the libraries. And also business parameter, just passing the dynamic values to our libraries. So yeah, in that case, yeah, any doubts, anything you just want to ask, you can continue. So you want me to, like, you would be sharing a screen and telling, or you're fine with just
No, normal
letting?
thing only. The doubt is
Okay.
about test configuration on execution folder and test case level. So you said whenever we usually give the test configuration at test case level. Then while
Right.
in the execution section also we have an option to give the configurations.
Mm,
So
right.
the latest one will be overridden with the test cases one if I execute the test case from the execution list.
Correct.
But yeah, that is clear. The other one is I selected the whole folder for execution. In that, for each test case, I have given different configuration. For example, for the test case one, I have given age. Test case two, I have
Right.
given new. But for the folder level, I have given something else, Internet Explorer. So if
Right.
we select from the folder, will it again overriding and take the folder level only, or how it will take?
So depends how you are executing. If you are executing it from the execution list, it would take execution list configuration. If you're coming, you have set in the execution list, but you have come here in the test case and you are executing the test case in Scratchbook from this test case folder thing, then basically you are executing the test case thing from this test case section, and it would take only this configuration what you have set on the test case level.
Uh, no, Pradeep, let me share my screen so you will get clear.
Okay. Yes.
Actually, just now also, can you able to see my screen?
Yes, now I can.
After you explained also, I tried Control N and later Control F.
Okay.
I got open this
Right.
window instead of that.
First thing, close this. Click on this test cases somewhere where you want to create a folder first.
Actually, I want to
Click on
create
test.
a pre-condition, post-condition. That's the thing. I just want to do it. So
Okay.
let
Click on
I
the
also
test case. Yeah.
I already did manual
First
for
you
this
need to
one.
highlight. First you need to highlight the section, and yeah, here just press now Control N and then Control F. It's ready. It's created, right? You see?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I did like I just directly I'm doing like this. It's not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay, fine. My doubt is about I'm in this folder. So on the folder level, I have given some configuration. Here I have a
Okay.
given page. Okay.
Right.
For the test case level, I have given Chrome, and here I
Okay,
have
about this folder you were talking about.
yes.
So yeah, and now here if you see, uh, it would basically take the configuration of the test case thing what you have given. So at the parent level, yes, you have set something else, but
Mm.
at each individual levels, like basically the test cases, you are setting a different one. So it takes the inner most one in this
If I
thing.
select from the folder itself, then also
Uh, if you
Like
select from
here, if I do it from here.
no, but then again internally when it points to first test case. So first test case, it goes to the first test case and it sees what are the test configuration parameters of first test case. So it says okay, browser is Chrome, so it executes on Chrome, and then next test case it goes, and the next test case Firefox, so it executes on Firefox. And if you don't change it at test case level and you just want all the things to be at the whatever the folder parent one is having, so you can just right click, reset it to the default one, and then or yeah, don't change uh, test case at test case level. So that can be the other things.
Here
So but
also I can.
in general, yes, you can so here if you see Edge is the browser you have set at the folder level parent, so that is where it would take Edge only.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got it. From the test case level settings itself, it is considering and executing.
Yes, yes. Because why it is doing that way is depending on the test case requirement. Yes, we can get this kind of scenario when we are actually working in any of the project. They would say, okay, there are a number of test cases. Out of this, some test cases needs to execute on Chrome, but some has to be executed on Firefox with some other again some settings. So those kind of things you can do it at the test case level as well inside that execution list. So the folder that you are going to say is execution list folder. In execution list folder, if we have test cases, yes, it takes test cases configuration.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some other doubt. Let me open that. Actually, in the yeah here, I tried to give verify only. Somehow I don't know. It got selected for select, and if I'm changing it, I got something different error. So if I select only action mode as select, then only it is getting passed. Otherwise, in all the cases, it is getting failed.
It shouldn't be. If you can just click on verify and then execute this step,
Yeah, yeah.
it should work.
Let me. I think I need to execute the whole test case.
Yeah.
Just a minute. It is clicking, but it is failing to verify this welcome
Okay.
page.
And what is the error?
Synchronization.
Synchronization failed, please. Increase
This
your synchronization settings. So it is like you're immediately trying to verify. As soon as you click, you're trying to immediately verify. And as I say, after you have clicked, it would be like kind of waiting for a while. It should wait, like page is still loading, and then within that period of time only you are just trying to verify it. So which is not the proper correct scenario. So
actually I have given wait also there itself.
mm, where is that?
Wait for 5 seconds. Open
Wait for
application.
5 seconds
Okay,
after
okay.
opening application, and then yeah, after that you are clicking on login, which means you are doing next action. And then after clicking on login, you are not just waiting, right? Because the page is loading, but you are not waiting.
Here I haven't given anything.
In between, no, in between your click action, what is your recent last click action? Click on login is your
Yes,
recent
yes.
action,
It's
right?
my action.
After that, what is your next step? You are verifying.
Okay.
Now between these two there is no such wait which you have given,
Okay.
but the page application is loading after clicking, so which means immediately you cannot do the second step until the first step completes. So that is where what you have to do, you have to either use this hard coded static wait, or the other thing would be use dynamic wait. So here if you can just say instead of verify, you can say wait on for that element to exist. And
Okay.
then if you run only that individual step, it should pass. It would pass basically.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait on, and then the next step you can say, okay, verify the same element.
Again,
After wait on,
you ask.
yeah,
Yes.
another step you need to add, and then say verify.
Okay. Otherwise, even I can also give the
Correct.
weight.
You can copy.
Weight.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can give.
Okay, that's it for now. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
And Nawaz, any questions from your side, Nawaz?
No, brother, nothing as of now.
Okay. Let me share my screen then. To see verify logged in page, and I just don't want to. I'll just execute this test case for now. I just want a logged in screen. Right. This is we have got a logged in screen at the page, and now the next steps would be like what? Let's take some scenarios wherein I just want to uh, click on this computers, and then this particular our desktop. So how can I select this? The first thing I need to have this elements get scanned, right? How I can do? Go to your application, this thing, and here what you can do is right click, scan. I'll click on this computers, either this or that. I think is fine. I will just click on this computers, let's say. Then this books and computers. So for this book, how first thing module I would check. Module is title. I'm fine with this title, demo web shop, and then books is inner text book. So if you would see here, this books was kind of not getting. It's not a unique one. Even if you select this, even if you select this href, even if you select this, multiple things also if you select, we are not getting this as unique. Why? Because if you see there's another books thing, and this that might be like kind of same thing. So only even this outer text and inner text, inner html, yeah, anything you are taking is not working. In this case, what you can also do is so to this book, there's something called here. You have some filters thing, so you can just select it, and then you can see other elements again at this level. So if you see at one level, yeah, we have got this many elements of this page. And another thing again, if you just go drag one more level, you would see another extra elements have been added. So same way to the max is what, yes, you can go, so that it shows what this particular thing is, where this particular
We can
thing
use
is.
tags at here, right?
What is that?
Tags or something we can use, right? We can use identify by, and we can spot the
Yes,
specific thing.
we can even do
Yeah.
that way. and I am also showing you the other one now. Sometimes even if uh, the other identifier we also have apart from this four is we have parent uh, based on parent. So parent would be what, whatever is the higher level of this element, through that is what we are trying to find. So if you see this div, and if you just highlight it, so it shows this section, right? So under this section only we have these things, right? So we can see, let's see if we can find anything unique in this. So under this div is what we are trying to find, this li or this book. So if you see this li as well, li, and this is book, class name is inactive. So even this li, let's say this is again parent to this, right? If we select this li, now this li is just li and nothing else. So if you take the outer text of this, it's still not unique. And then the class name is unique. So class name inactive, and then outer text, outer text as book, it is identifying this one. So with this, yes, you can find now this book is also unique, because uh, this item is under this item. So this li item is nothing but we have found this one with some unique property. And now the same way, so here if you see, uh, if you select this li, now li is not unique. How to make this li unique, the parent one, this we can make unique by selecting the outer text, and for outer text it is fine at computers, it is working fine. In case even if this doesn't work, you can even take the class name. So this is how. So what you're doing is, if the required element is not unique, and for that we are trying to see if there is any parent element that we can make unique. So for now, since I have made unique to this, I don't even need this div or this div to be unique. I can even do that. So instead of this, if I select this, and I can say outer text is category some this thing, I cannot rely on that. Basically there are n number of things, and if something gets changed, our path would get changed, so that won't be constant. So if you see the class name for this, master wrapper main, so sometimes class names can be different. Check if it is different, unique, fine, we can take this one. And then yeah, this is how you can just make the parent one as unique. And once you make the parent one unique, it should be fine, I guess. So you would find the required element in the unique way, even without selecting anchor. So it is advisable, right? Even before anchor thing, try to find element in this parent way. If it is able to find, do it, else then go for the anchor. So this we can say, this is category, categories, section, or container, anything, whatever you just want to rename it to. You can say this is categories section, the left one. Under that section, yes, we have this li of books, or you can just say, uh, to be more specific, you can say li books, and then this is li computers. So you can take this one, and yeah, so this one I'm fine. And I will say, uh, again, this module you can rename it to whatever you want. And since I am on this
So,
page,
if we want to rely two or more parent tags, then we need to take all the tags into our.
not required. This now here, this category section we can remove. We can only rely on this ones. This is fine.
Okay, but in other case, if one parent tag is not enough sufficient, then we usually depends on other tag also. So in that case, we need
Other,
to
yeah.
take
In this,
that two tags in our code.
yes, two tags you can take.
Okay.
I'll just click on save and close. Now, if you would see, I have scanned a new module for this category section, and then this one, right? You can keep this way, or you might already know, okay, this is on our main page, right? first page, and then after logged in, and we already say this as home page, right? So we can keep this all sort of elements whatever we did, control C, cut or copy, and then come to this module. I want to keep all of my modules, all of the related elements of this page in one module, which is home page, because this is again, I would say this is a home page. This is nothing, a different page, right? If I click on books, and then it would be what, books page. So I can now create a new module because this is something what, a different page, and books related pages, yes, I can uh, keep it in different module, but this is this category section and all, it comes in the home page only, right? So I'm just keeping it here only. And so yeah, in this category section, and I don't need this, basically I'll just remove it, but I have this thing. So now if you see our next test case, let's say, so what I'll do is copy this, 007, something like add books. How we can add? So in our process, everything, yes, still logged in screen I need, but after that things changes. So just before log out and close, I want to add few more steps. So in process, we can add that steps. So here I would take what, this module, drag and drop, and in here, for this category section, I want to click on books, let's say. So you can say just click. That's it. So by default, whatever action mode it takes, we are fine with that. We just have to worry about this action, what we want to perform. Click action on this element, and then yeah. So now if you run this in the what, yeah, in on this section, so it would click. You see, mouse is going there and clicking on this book. So this is what we have got. After this, now whatever we would be scanning, that would be like kind of a different page. So that, and we already know that there is no such module with this page, books page or something. Uh, so that is where we would be scanning a new one. If we already have, what we can do is we can rescan it. Right click, scan, and then application. I'll select this page. I'll click on condense. So what I want, I would want some of the elements like what should we say? We'll just wait if this books kind of thing is appearing as a verification point, if we are gone to the correct next page or not, a required page or not. So what I would do is I will take this text and verify if this text is present. If this text is present, I would assume the click was done in the previous action, whatever we did, previous page, that has come to the expected page. It is having this sort of text, and then this I'm using for verification, let's say. And after that, what else I would need? So we have this some selecting, sorting by, sort by products order by, this is there, and then this is something called display, and this is view. So some select elements. And if you would see here, we have some prices, and we also have if you just mouse scroll down, you have add to cart. Let's say you want to add the first element from this page. So if you would see here, so this div, if you click, this is what it is giving us, the uh, first part, first item. And in this item, what we have, the text called computing and internet, we have some price, and then we have add to cart button. And now if you would see, okay, I need only these things for now from here. And afterwards, let's say sometimes we would also need shopping cart or wish list, right? That we'll see it later. Okay. So for now, I've just taken this book, and book is unique. First module wise, I'm fine with title. Book is also like inner text. It is giving so many these things, but spaces wherein I won't rely on this thing. Instead of this, I'll just take class name, page title, and then page title tag, but text is nowhere I have taken. So here if you see default name, I can take this default name. So this is identifying as book. And now next to this is what selecting. Till now we have gone text box, we have seen checkbox, we have seen radio button. This is select field, wherein from the drop down we have to select, right? So how we can interact with this kind of element. So here just same like text, we just find the properties first. So for this, how we can identify, tag is select, and then id it is taking. I'm fine with this id because this is name and it is nowhere going to change. If it is product view mode 123 so and so some numbers, instead of that, like if it is 2 for now, next time it would be something else. So only this part is changing, but the rest part remains same. When we are sure about that, I've also said in previous sessions, so we can keep this way star. So product view this thing star, like that. So if something is changing, but since we know it is not changing, we are fine with this thing. So same way, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this property. Next thing is this div. This div is not unique. Why it is not unique? Because the item this cannot, we cannot rely on this only tag. And so how we can make this div as unique? Now this div, if you see what it is nothing but this first tile, that section. So same way we have this div, we have this, like so on. Whatever items we are getting, that many divs is what it is having. So it is kind of getting confused which one to consider again. And this div, based on this property, only div property, it is not identifying. So what we'll take is item box. When you say item box of class name, still not unique. But then if you see the properties now, you see 1 of 6, which means this 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now this is pointing to that particular item, right? So item how? Based on this class name. And tag with div of class name item box, there are 6 elements on the page, and the one that you wanted or you are looking for is the first one. So you can take that index. So first one, it points always. So hash this, you see index. So this is now being identified with index, and the index is 1. Yeah, instead of first one, if you wanted to select the third one, you can say 3 instead of that index. So I'm fine with the that index 1, and later I will show you in the code how you can change those index and all dynamically based on our requirement. So the next one under this, there is something called tag. I won't select inner text, but there's just tag. Again, in this tag, uh, what the tags would be. So multiple tags it can have, this links and all, right? So here we are getting this link based on what product thing computing the default name, right? So the name of the product. So if we wanted the name of this particular product, we can select this, and class name, there is no such class name. But if you see how many, there are two things. Why two things? So if you just drill more, you would see under this, div, there are two elements which have which are linked. Basically show details for computing this thing and image. Show details, where is this? So if you would highlight this particular section, you see there is something is hidden. So this hidden item is also link, is what page identifies. That's where only one link if we select, it is not if you are just selecting based on tag, it is not giving us. So everywhere it would be like the first one might be like show details or something, and then second one would be the name of that. So you can again take based on index, or if you know the name, you can just consider the name, the inner text of this property, or the default name. I'll take inner text for now. And price. Now next thing is span. of inner text again. So let's say price, I don't take it as uh, what I will do is, even this computing name, I just don't want to take based on inner text. Reason is, uh, now for first time it is computing and internet. So again, next time if something added or deleted, this name is going to change, and price, so on, anything else, right? So in that case, we need to make our control in a unique way. So you shouldn't be selecting based on any name. Take some other properties. So now other property, what have we got?
But Pradeep, if someone is want to add that item, they'll see the name only, right?
Uh, so name is kind of, if they are sure, okay. Uh, Once you have got that requirement, you click here, and then you want to add an item who has a name called computing and internet. So based on that, if you want to select, so then you can put some constraint, put some verification, some point, uh, say, to find where this particular text is on the page. Wherever that text is, based on that you click it, or you add that item. So that is what the next level of uh, uh, way you need to handle. That is something else, I would say. Yeah, but in general, for our testing, what we can do is, we can take the first item whatever is present, and yeah, before taking, we can even check what the name is. We can store this in some buffer, and then in the next page, wherever whatever actions we are performing, we are doing it there as well, the name is same throughout or no. You just have to check that one. So for now, what I will take is, I'll take this based on index, because I know in the inside this div there are two links, and I want the second link, second index with that link. So here I can again check inner text, verify inner text equal to. If it is computing, then click. Else, go on to the next item, go on to the next index. So that is complex coding that we have to do, I would say. Uh, so that scenarios, yes, when you get it, you have to do that. So that one I would, like when I say about the conditions thing, how to write conditions, handle loops and all, that you would, when I explain you that part, you would be able to understand and do this thing according to that way. For now, just based on index is what we have taken this. And now price as well, if you see, I've taken only span, and there are multiple spans in this div, and only then, if you just want to see what are the other one, is this price something, and then yeah. So that's where you see many things, but we want this 10, right? Now what could be the unique one? It can be like price, actual price. There's some class, if you select this, yes, it shows unique. For the 30, for the 30 was some old price, right? So if you see 30, now the class name for that is again old price, you see. So inner text, if you don't take it, and then if you see old price of this element, uh, the class name is this. So we can say this is old price of that item, and this is our actual or new price. Anything you can write, new price. So now if you see, I've selected old price as well as new price, and then add to cart. Add to cart, if you see, value is add to cart button, and only this value inside this div, there is only uh, inside this div, especially inside this div, there's only one add to cart button. But if you see on the page, there are what, only add to cart. If you just select, you might get this one and this one, three elements, and then out of this three you might have to select something else. But how are we making unique to this add to cart? Based on this item. So this item we made unique. Under that item, there's only one add to cart. Is it clear? Because this things, if you are clear, scanning part, this is the main catch, I would say, in automation, in Tosca, especially if you are doing if you are able to identify any of the element based on whatever properties, whatever things they provide us, and that too very efficient way, meaning whatever properties we are taking, we are sure like this is not going to change. Even if the developer, very rare cases wherein they would change, okay, class name of this price, old price, they might change old prices or something else. So that are very rare changes. But then if you just neglect those things, yes, other things whatever you have taken is a common one. And yeah, there are very rare chances which in wherein it is going to uh, change that property and our code is not going to work. So that scenarios would be very less. So if you are uh, good enough to select the properties in that way, I guess even in the maintenance part, or if not you, if there's someone else who would be handling your code, reviewing, maintaining, even they would be like kind of won't have much work, or though they don't have to worry about especially of this properties, uh, I would say. So any doubts in this properties, feel free to ask. This is what the main focus on. So if you are familiar with this, again, depending on application, yes, web based, different web based applications, yes, you can do it this way, you can take it this way. And even if it is uh, any other desktop based applications, if you are doing, and there as well, if you are applying the same tactics, same things, same properties that you need to take. And mostly that sort of properties is what it is advisable to take. So if you work on that part, I guess the automation, what is next step? It would be like, take this module, click verify books is present or not, click see the buffer the old price, what is the price, or select order the like sort the page with some order by something. So if you want to say, take this module in the step and change the value, that's it, you, nothing else. And if you want to click on add to cart button, take this module, click on add to cart, there's nothing left. The only thing is the scanning part. If you are pretty sure, confident enough, then any page, any given page, yes, somehow 99% again, because there's 1% of chance wherein some sort of elements on a page can get tricky. Even for me it would be tricky. So that is where, yes, we have to kind of do some research, see what all things we can uh, find on the page, so with some other help, by some other elements help or anything. With that help, if we are able to find that trickiest part as well, good. Else, yeah, but till now, yes, whatever I have got, yeah, there were few challenges, but somehow by some other means, I was able to even do that. So this is the main thing. So if you have any doubts in this now itself, I would want you to ask why we are taking it this way. If you want to identify this, why this, and why indexes, and why all those things. This one, I would say, okay, I've done with this module. I'll click on save and close. So if you don't have any questions, I'll move on with the next ones. So I'll take this module into my test case. After clicking books, what I will do is I'll wait for this particular text to appear. So I'm saying wait, right? So same way, wait on should be my action mode. And what am I waiting for? This element to visible, let's say, visible to. So I'm just waiting for that element. And once I've got this, what shall we do? So if you see sort by, we have some sorting options. So if you want to check, uh, select this or display thing or view as, uh, let's say I want to change the display of this particular page. So here by default we would have some value, but let's say I want to uh, first thing after coming here, we will see if this display if our test case is saying, see, the display has a value of 8 by default. So if that is our requirement, so you know which this particular element is. This is nothing but order by, and in order by, what we want to verify, what we want to verify is if the value is 8 by default or not. So if this is our requirement, again, this all scenarios is what most of the scenarios I'm just trying to cover what can be the possible thing. So now if you see this has got failed, and if it is failed, verification order by, it is order by, right? I've taken order by, so this is order by, and then the next one could be, so position is what we have got, so this is not that element what we were looking for. That's where when you are scanning the element, give the names according to the way you are able to understand. So this is sort by, this is display, this is view as. Same way we can write it. What I'll do is I'll just rescan it again, uh, just to say, just to show you as well how we can rescan and changing of this name. So since these three fields are kind of select fields, and I'm a bit confused which one is what. So that's where I just want to I would see highlight it first, which element is what, and based on that I would rename it here itself. So if you would see here, first view mode, products view mode. So view mode would be what, I guess this one, but let's say highlight. So if I highlight, yeah, this is view as we are getting. So view mode is nothing but view as, or you can come here and change this to uh, view as per what is shown in the UI. We are renaming it according to that. So view as, and now if you see order by, which is what sort. So I'll say this is uh, sort by, and next thing is this display. So I'll say here page size instead of this display. Fine with this now. So I'll save and then close. If I open, if I come here back. So now this is what by default, again, for all things based on your test case, if you have to say verify if it is position, so give that position, and display. So by default, display is view as is grid or not. If you just want to see, verify it, so we'll write that grid. And now this as well 8 if you want do that, or else what you can do, you want to select, let's say you want to just or I would say I would verify grid. uh, I would just verify this one grid is there, and I would just buffer, basically buffer what by default sort by is getting. So I'll say default sort by. I just want to buffer it. And then next one, I want to change it to what? Instead of 8, I want it to be 12. So this is from select field, and from there we are trying to select this one. So I want 12. Let's say my test case is requiring that one. So what I will do is in this field, go to this value, and if you click this drop down, you would get the same values whatever the drop down was showing for all the similar thing, for all these things as well. If you would see this drop down, so this is what you would get. So this is same thing what that field is having, right? So even view as, if you see there are only two options, and even on the page it is two. So Tosca, it is actually scanning all the elements, and it is storing, and it is giving us that flexibility, what value do you want to select for this. So if there's anything on the page, that one you want to select, you can just select it from this drop down, select it from this drop down. For example, here I want 12, so I'll select 12. If not 12, if you want 4, yeah, you can take it 4. Now next time, let's say on the web page it has added 5 or 6, another 5 drop down called 5. And now here if you see in suggestion, you might not get it, because at that time when you have scanned this module, you only had this 3 elements, but then fourth one later have been added, and we wanted that new one. So you don't have to again go and then add this one directly. You can just write that value as 5, and when you write 5 in the page, it comes and it would try to select if there is 5 here. Yes, it selects. If not, then it says there is no such value of what you are trying to select. You are trying to select a value which is not there in this drop down list. It gives us that error. So this is about the
So
drop down.
we can store the values.
Sorry, what is that?
Dynamically, we can store the values.
Store the value. You mean this storing you're talking about, or
The values, yeah, yeah. If it is
so,
extra being added, then
yes,
we can save that thing.
we
Whatever
don't
you
have to again, yes, scan that one. Basically, since you all had already scanned that element, you just have to pass the value what you want to give. That's it. So Tosca, this Tosca knows, okay, this element is nothing but this particular thing, and from this particular drop down, it has to select what value you have given. You have given some value 5, and it would select from this complete list if there is 5. If there's 5, it would click. If there is not 5, it won't. It won't select. Uh,
can you add one at this moment? 16. Let it be 16.
so 16, and now the 16, if it is not there, 16, what you are saying is you want 16 as a drop down value for this display, but developers has not built that in that particular way. Since they have not built it in that way, if you wanted this 16, there is what you need to check the requirement. If your requirement says there has to be a drop down with 16 option, and if developer has not fixed it, not given it, you need to report it as a defect bug to them.
Yes. I just want to see how you are storing there. Yeah, just you entered, that's it.
Yeah. So 16 is not a valid option, you see. And now what I was saying is when you scan it, Tosca would basically take this default options whatever are available. So if you see here inside this value range, you see this one. So 4, 8, 12, and for this sort field as well, value range, it stores all these things, and that is where we are getting the suggestions. Nothing but this value range, and this one Tosca has did it. Now let's say if you wanted in that kind of suggestions this thing, yes, here you can add 16, and now you would get option here as 16 in the drop down. But then on the page there is no such nothing such called 16 element. There's 16 value, and that is where it is going to fail, and it throws no valid option found. Is it clear or confusing? Nawaz, Aruna?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
clear, Pradeep.
Right.
So you mean
Okay.
like if there is value only, it will be displayed. Otherwise, it won't be. It will throw an error.
Correct.
Doing
Correct.
that,
So
yeah.
yeah, even when you're doing manual testing, what you would do, you would come here and select some value which is present on the application, right? It is not like you
Yeah.
can create on your own and do it.
Yeah,
That
otherwise,
is
it would
where
be a
a
negative
development.
scenario.
Yeah. So negative scenario, but then since this is a drop down, you cannot enter some value. So if it's text box, yes, you can enter some negative value or something else. But to a drop down, you can only select whatever is shown, right? So here I'll say, okay, I want 12. So I'll take 12 from this thing. I can remove this because I just don't want to confuse you with. That's it. So it should, when I execute this one, now
Oh, no.
it would buffer, verify, and then store all the
ఎవరన్నా
string.
వేయించుకుంటే చూపిద్దామని.
Aruna, can you go on mute if you're not speaking here? Yeah. So yeah, display thing. Now you see, since I've executed and it has changed to 12. So it shows 12 elements as kind of whatever you wanted to do. Now here, if you see, wait on was successful. View as, if you see, expected value grid and was also the grid, and sort by buffer. We are buffering, right? So by default sort by on the page was position. and display you were what entering input to the application as 12, and if you execute it, you got that input value here. So this is what. And next, let's say I want to from this. So this is not computing and internet for sure. It would be like uh, just the item name, generic thing we are trying to make it. So this is nothing but item name of the item that gets displayed, and this is old price, this is new price, add to cart. So let's say you want to just buffer what the item name is. How you can do? So on the item name you can say buffer, and you can give whatever name you want to store that value. So I'm fine with this item name, or first item, first or I'll say item 1, that name, and then old price of that item. So if your test case says, okay, check if uh, the computing and internet, first item displayed is computing and internet, and the old value of that should be 30 and new value should be 10, then you add that to cart. So if your test case is saying that way, same thing you have to do it here. So here, instead of buffering, we need to say verify, and then it should be computing and or whatever our test case was saying, computing and internet. So it should be computing and internet. And then old price should be what? 30 we were saying. So it should be like verify. And new price, we will just buffer what the new price is of that item first. I'll say
Pradeep,
I
a quick query, Pradeep.
yeah,
Maybe it seems silly, but in a generic scenario, the one which you are showing is logistics domain, like like a Flipkart or Amazon, which is related. Okay, so
okay.
whenever there is some, if you have written this test case, like in a time period of like when there are offers, for example, that price will be like 30 dropping to 10. Okay,
Right.
but in a generic scenario, 30 will be 30. So at that time, an error will may occur, right, Pradeep? So like
Uh,
again, we need to uh, scan it and do it, right?
no, you don't have to scan. You just have to change your test step expectations. So this value you are verifying. Basically, you are verifying. You are giving some expected value. So here, if you are sure, okay, after offers running or whatever it is, and then based on that, at that time, the old price of that item you would know beforehand only, as you are saying. Okay, beforehand on this particular page, the old price value should be 20. So you would come here, change it to 20. That's it. Nothing, no more than that.
Okay, got it.
Right. You see here, and then it is, it has failed. Reason, if you see why it has failed, old price. Container has no default property to read from. This is very common error when we get for this container thing. And yeah, even my colleagues used to ask this out, and that is where uh, if you would see, scan and see this property and where this 30 was being stored, we had seen it was in inner text, right? So and now this container by default, if you would see, there is no default property, default action mode select, and then there's no such default value where it has to, if you are giving this value section, where it has to point, where it has to read. And if you would show you some other element uh, to this links. So to the links, what it says is the developers, the coders would write it in a way, when you are asking for any value thing, or getting something, links and something which is recognized by Tosca, those things, if we are pointing, assume the default container, default uh, default thing where it just now what it is showing, right? The default property. So the default property for links or for the text box, consider it as inner text. They say that way. But this one for container, there is no such written code. That is where Tosca is throwing us an error saying there is no such default thing. So in this case, what we have to do is in the value section in this, we have to specify this property 30, whatever we are saying is inner text, and verify this inner text is this. So that is where that error would go now, if you would see. Now something it is failing again. And if you would see here, old price verification was failed first thing. And why it was failed, if you would say, before I show you this, I know why it was failed. It have to fail. Now if you see the inner text of this, what it is 30. And now if you see the items inner text, what it is it only 30? No, right? It is 30.00. That's where this thing has failed. So if you would say you were expected 30, but it is 30.00. So that is where you just have to expect the correct thing. So it shouldn't be 30, it should be 30.00. Now this verification would get failed. So same way, even for price, it was saying container has no default property to read from. So such things, when I say we kind of work in maintenance projects most of the time, this is how we get error, and that is how we understand thing, and we change the code according to our requirement. So I know that default thing, when it says it is related to this property, and that property I have to specify, and now if I execute, this would work. You see, it is also clicking on add to button, add to cart. So this we have got. So you also have to verify this message has come or not, scan that part and do this, and then shopping cart, you would get one item added, and the next would be what, to click on it. And once you click on it, you would get this field, uh, verify if this is what. Now the price, that the title name of that particular product, whatever we uh, so okay, I also want to show one more thing. So here we have added books, computing and internet. Again, one more thing, let's say I want to add even fiction. I've added this fiction, and now two shopping cart item. And now on this thing, we see we have got this quantity and this thing, shopping cart and this one, right? So there's one more thing that I wanted to show you here, which is another form of web element. So now this is, which screen are we getting? We are getting cart screen. Just identify where you have navigated to, and somehow just try to make some unique, you can say shopping cart page, or yeah, just cart, whatever you want. So according to that, create a module in that way. So demo web shop slash books, you can say, and then next one is demo web shop carts. Now for the cards, what I wanted to tell is, select this. Click on condense. So now if you see here, what I want. So if you closely scan this page, let's say I want this whole thing. So and then later this is going to change, right? I can even uh, verify just this price is 10, 24 from previous page, it is coming here properly or not, and the quantity by default it is one or not, and then we want to change it to something else, is it changing or not? All sort of verifications, yes, you would have to do it based on your what your test case is saying. Now if you see this whole thing we are kind of able to scan as a table. If you see this thing on the page, you are getting table. So which means this is another form of element. So you have gone through the checkbox thing, and then you have also seen normal text box field, links you have seen, radio button you have seen, a drop down select field you have seen, and another is this table. This is the one that I wanted to show. So this table thing, and now this table, if you see, I've selected this and go back. And if you want to verify shopping cart is displayed or not, select this and verify it that way. So this table is not unique, first of all, and what this table contains. So this section table is nothing but it is storing this sort of details. Now, if I want to show you the content of this, there is another option here called show content preview. So click on this. By selecting this table, you would see this table here, same table now here. And then if you see, this is header, remove, and then one is empty. And after that, there is products, then price, quantity, total, and then remove colon. This is one, remove colon. This is another one. And this is what names of the product. So product computing this and then price of that, and then quantity and these things. So also, if you see here, this section, content view, use header row. When we say this use header row tick, which means this one is considered as the header for the row. And if you just uncheck this, now this is there's no header for your table. There is no header for your table. And yeah, but how would we identify, okay, fiction, product is fiction, based on header, right? So that's where header, yes, we have to select it, and it would get easier to identify something on the page. So header, I want to make it. And then if I just mouse over on fiction, you see what are the coordinates that it is displaying. You see here coordinates on this fiction, $2, $3. What this mean is $2, first $2 is nothing but row, which means this is first row and then second row. So fiction is on the second row, and then next $3 comma $3 is nothing but column or the cell. So column is 3. So Tosca is considering this as column 1, and then next this as column 2, and the next this as column 3. So fiction is at $2, $3. Now, if you say 24, where is 24? $2, which is second row, and $6, which is at the sixth column. Uh, this one is this way. And yeah, once we have got the sections, what I'll do is first thing, tag table. So with tag table on this page, there are multiple items. And if you would see index of this, there are two. One is this, and the other one was showing here. So there are two, out of which first table is the one that we are working on, and then this is next would be the second one.
Pradeep, here it
Yes.
is not considering the images. So if you are clicking on the images, row 2, so
Yeah.
it won't click, right?
Empty row is what you are trying to click, and then it might go here, and then it just come here and it clicks. So but there is no such click option that is provided. It is just for viewing purpose. Developer has built it in that way. For this image, they have not given any click option, so it is nothing. I'm clicking it, but there's nothing happening. So even through code, what you would do, even if you click, there nothing happens basically. Yeah. So
But
this,
usually in a shopping sites, image
yes,
also allowed to
yes.
possible.
Yeah. So when you do that, and here itself you would have some properties, you would get it. So that's where, yes, you can go to that particular row column and then click on that image. You can do it that way as well. There's not much of a difference. When you do it, practice it, you would come to know it. So do it, and then let me know if you have any doubts on that particular part.
Okay.
Yeah. And so how to make this table unique? Only one table. Most of the time it would be what? Only one table in a page, like 80 to 90%. And some pages, yes, it might have multiple tables and have to identify based on some identifier. This we can do based on the shopping cart label, or some other properties as well. For now, for this, I can see class name as cart, whereas the other one cannot be cart. Not sure, but it like can be anything. So I will select this and see if it is unique. I see this is unique and it is not giving me any error. So I can take this as cart table. So I'll say here cart table. And that's it. So this is okay. And I'll close this, go to the test case. So I'll just drag and drop this one onto my test case. And in here, now this is cart, right? Table. So this is table thing. And table, when you see, you would have what? Rows and columns. And inside rows, there is cell. And even for column, there is cell. So table thing is nothing but rows and columns. It is involved that way. In this, so we have two things that Tosca table is providing us. One is row, another one is column. Inside row, yes, cell. So when you consider row and column, and when you consider column and cell, you can consider as row again. So column and row, or row and column. So cell is nothing but the specific item. Now that cell can be row or column depending on which level you are considering it. Cell, if you are thinking in a row perspective way, it would be then column. And then cell, if you are thinking in a column way, then it is like row, column and row, combination of column and row. So now for this card, let's say row, I want first row. So first row would be what? $1. I'll say $1. And I had also not shown you one, like two action mode. One was select. So select is what? Even for other elements we were getting. If you would see, where is that? If I would show you some, yeah, this thing.
Yes.
You see,
Select and constraint to
select
identify.
for select something. So this one as well, you get action mode as select, meaning you are just kind of selecting this particular element, but then doing something else. Again, going forward, doing something else. But consider this item is what we are telling it. So the same way, select is nothing but, yes, in this row one, consider row one, and inside that, now another one action mode is constraint. Now what constraint is? Constraint basically nothing but, so if we have uh, let's say this computing and internet, and also we have computing and internet. Now if we have two computing and internet, but then for this the price is 10, for the next one is 24. Let's say if we have that way, 10 and 24, so which one do you want to point? So you need to give some specifier, right? Some identifier wherein computing with price as 10 or computing with price as 24, which one you want to point out to. So that is where the identifier, or the thing with which we want to identify the specific row or column, that is nothing but a constraint. So constraint here we can say computing and internet, but then another constraint with price as 24. So when we say that part, then it considers this one, it neglects this one, and then it considers this one, because the constraint given was computing and internet both satisfies, but the other part was price as 24. uh, that is one. So that is where constraint we use. So I hope all action modes are clear. Input, to give input from our Tosca to the application, verifying something, buffer, storing, wait on, to wait some dynamic wait, and select and constraint. Yes, we get it here. So this is, they might ask in interview, what are this action mode? Can you just brief it out? So yeah, give some examples and then explain it this way. So now constraint, yes, we can do. For now, what I will do is I will just,
Pradeep, can you explain in other way for constraint? I didn't get clearly.
okay, constraint, if I would have some other table. So here we have price 10. Can I just take the quantity? Let's say, okay, quantity as 1. So quantity as 1, let's say we don't have anything else, only quantity with two rows, first row and second row. Now quantity for first row is also 1, quantity for second row is also 1, right? So when the quantity is 1 for both the rows, how would you say to someone? Now if you want to address, there are two Pradeeps, let's say. So out of the two Pradeep, if someone asks you which Pradeep are you pointing to, so you would again say Pradeep with last name as Dawalji. So some other constraint is what you are giving, right? Some other identifier that you are giving, so that it tries to identify that particular item as unique. So that is where when you say item quantity 1, but then quantity 1 of computing. So computing would be our constraint.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Pradeep, can we say in this way also quantity with price 10 is also a
Uh,
constraint?
yes, you can say
Because
constraint, but then
$24 is different, right?
yes, you can say that one, and it points to here only. And but then what if there are two tens? Two tens, then that 10 cannot be again a unique
Yeah.
constraint, right?
But normally in this case, like,
Yes, in this case,
as
yes, you
we
can
have
take.
told in
That's
two
what.
rows, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, you can take that. So constraint is that thing. So I've said here row 1, and then this is nothing but column, cell or column, and then cell I would say I'll say row 3. I'll just try to buffer it. I'm just trying to buffer what is there in first row, third column. I want to buffer that particular thing in this variable or any variable. Just test, I would say. I don't know what it would be. So in this, I'll just right click, execute this. And now based on that row column thing, it would do this. So if you see here, yes, the test case got passed, green in color. And now if you would see here, uh, buffer with name test has been set to, you see, computing and internet with some spaces. So which means computing and internet is being pointed at row 1 and column 3, cell 3. So same way, yes, we have got this part, and now if you want
Pradeep,
to,
why it is showing as computing and internet with long braces over there? Can you just go back? The way it showed now. Yeah. Yeah. Why are the closing braces too far?
this is spaces. This thing on the web page, it is what there are. It is the text is not only computing and internet. It is also many spaces given by developer. They had built it that way. So this spaces is also like part of this particular text name. So fiction, it's not just fiction, it is fiction space. You can see this that way. So
So if
developer
you
has
want to
written
click
it that way.
on that, we need to give the portions like however you said 10%. We need to consider that, right?
What is that? Sorry.
If I want to click on
Yeah.
computing and the
Right.
internet.
Right. Right. So you can just, if you want to click here, what you can do is just say input and then click. That's it. Uh, you are just saying first row, third column, click. That's it. What is there, what it is, and all, we don't care. We don't know. We are not even verifying, or we are not doing anything. We just want to click it. So what it does is first row, third column, it tries to click. See the mouse, you see, it is clicking, computing and internet. So we have got this like this. And now, yeah, click you can do, buffer you can do, and then quantity, let's say you want to change. So this computing and internet, this thing, since this table is bit of a complex one for you now. I know even for me on the very first day it was something different, but the better I practice, the longer I spend the time on understanding this thing, I've got used to this thing. So again, what I'll do is this table thing again in the next session I would explain you. So for now, uh, yeah, we have just scanned some other elements, and then based on parent thing, how we can get it, and some errors if we were getting, how we can identify what kind of thing based on error message, understand it that way, and then work it accordingly. So that way we can do it. The table thing, I will explain you guys tomorrow again on this part. So, any questions, any doubts?
Yes, Pradeep. In the test case itself, you are passing the data there itself. So, are we going to handle this in other way?
Yes, yes. So that data again, one was like in precondition we can set data buffer, and then all this data we can give at one place, which is set buffer thing. We can do it that way. Else, the other one would be what through Excel. In Excel you can just load it all this data. You can like rows and columns, username, password, and then product name, product price. There in an Excel you can just list it down, and then you can pass that as a test case data to your test case. Or the third thing would be test case design. So from test case design, how we can do and all is what we can do. And then next fourth thing is through our Tosca
Test
TDS,
data service.
test data service. So from test data service, how we can pass. Those are the ways wherein we can handle our data. So that is, yes, even that we have. So later sections, yes, I will be explaining how we can do that.
Okay,
Yeah. Anything else? Any doubts?
not for now.
Yeah. If not, then yeah, thank you.